Hey Tribe, welcome to another Sunday Coffee Talk. I'm Chad, by the way, got my morning coffee. It is morning time in Thailand. I'm sure you can tell I look sleepy. But anyway, I missed a coffee talk last week, so let me get to kind of the updates here because the message, what we want to talk about on this Sunday Coffee Talk is very, very important. And I think a lot of us fall into this trap sometimes. And this is something I hear from people as a question or sometimes just out of frustration. Sometimes we say this out of frustration because things aren't really working. We think things aren't working. We think things are not working fast enough. And I'm talking about manifesting, living life on your terms, success, you doing everything you can to live your best life, and things kind of just seem out of whack a little bit. So that's what we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. But last week I did film a Sunday Coffee Talk, but I never posted it because I got busy. So because last weekend was a kind of a Buddha day, but Surin is by Cambodia. So Surin is only about an hour away from Cambodia. So the Thai locals in Surin, most of them speak two languages. Most of them speak Khmer, they speak Cambodian, and they speak Thai. Now, Ang speaks three languages. She speaks Khmer, Thai, and English. So, so her sister was up here, brother-in-law, nephew, and so it was a big, it was more of a Khmer, Cambodian Buddha holiday. But it was more of a bigger celebration. So it went over a few days. So I tried to do a coffee talk, but it just didn't really happen. so, um, but anyway, before I forget, remember on every Sunday coffee talk, we have the Super Thanks Spotlight. That's where you can leave a Super Thanks down below. And you attach a question to your Super Thanks, something you want me to go deeper in that you want to learn more about. And that's what we're discussing on every Sunday. So, but other than that, let me see what has happened. There is something really special that I wanna show you here. My coffee's hot, so let me take a sip before I show you. They just ran outside. Let me see if I can have them come back in. I figured they would be in here. Lucky, Money, Lucky, come. Come, come in here. We'll see if the other one comes in. Come in here. Okay, we got these two little boogers. There's one. Where's Lucky at? His name is Money. we named one Lucky, and then the other Money. So 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 we got this little booger. He has a brother that's being naughty right now. So so I thought maybe he would come in here because Money came in here. So we got this little booger. Don't ask me what type of dog it is, what type of puppy it is, because I don't know. Oh, here he is. He's coming in here. Okay, there they are, and they look totally different. So try to put the camera over here so you can kind of see, and so they look totally different, and they are brother and sister. They came out of the same litter, but how it kind of works in Thailand is most of the time they're just mutts. It's kind of what we call them in the States, where it's not the mom and the dad is not the same breed. So that's what you kind of get. But how we ended up getting two of them is kind of a little crazy little story here. Let me bring this up. Maybe even sit this back over here. It's kind of a little crazy story because we were just going shopping, and we usually buy our meat from this one place up over here, like in a little and off from the little village, and they had just a group of, a large litter of puppies up by the road and really close to the road. So some of the locals was telling a couple of the puppies got hit by cars and stuff like that. So what we ended up doing was we kind of felt sorry because they were up by the road. This is kind of how Thai locals do with puppies, is they're just put them by the road because they want somebody to take them. But honestly, they end up getting killed. So that's basically kind of how they do it. I know people don't want to hear that stuff, but that's just how culture is here. And they don't get in trouble by it. You know what I mean? So what we ended up doing is we couldn't take all the puppies, of course. But first we took Lucky, the brown one here I'm petting. We took him because I was on a motorbike. So I was holding him. We went to get Thai tea. So I was holding my Thai tea and Lucky here. The reason why we called him Lucky is because when we brought him back, Aang's family was like, "Oh, he's really lucky that you picked him up because he'll have a good life." So we picked up him, and when we got back, he of course was a little bit sad because you just take him away from his litter, you take him away from his brothers and sisters. So then once we brought him back, we thought, well, maybe we should go back and get another one. So that's what we did. So we picked up a girl. So we picked up one of his sisters, and that way there would at least be two of them, and two of them could run around. And it took them a couple of days to adjust a little bit, but since there were two of them, they adjusted pretty good. What? So, but I don't know how old they are. They seemed pretty tiny because we just picked them up maybe at most maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. And they seem pretty tiny because in the States, if you're from the States, you know what I'm talking about. But usually if you get a dog from the States, you're usually getting a dog from a breeder. And most of the time they're 8 weeks old before you can pick them up. Sometimes 6 weeks, but 6 weeks anymore in the States is pretty early. So I kind of want to, when we got them, I kind of want to say they were probably more on like 5 weeks or something like that. I haven't had puppies for a long time, but I know 100% they were 8 weeks. So I do know that. But yeah, that's kind of the little story there. Like that's how we ended up getting them. And they've been little boogers, trying to potty train them and stuff like that, but they're a little bit young. They're doing an okay job with it because we got the door right here. We keep it open so they can kind of come and go as they please. And plus it's away from the road. So kind of train them small, but yeah. And so usually they're getting mad, really playing down there. See, this is why we got two of them, because that way they could entertain each other. But anyway, we kind of got them just to kind of as a rescue, just because we felt being up by the road, we felt like eventually they get hit by a car, hit by a motorbike. A lot of them just die because of the heat, or the owners don't feed them and water them enough. That's just the sad part. That's just the sad part of everything. They're really playing around me here, wrestling around me. Yeah. So make sure they don't bite me with their sharp little puppy teeth. But anyway, let me sit down. But I showed you that, so I don't want to keep on carrying on about that. But that's what happened. And they're still playing over there. I don't know if you can see that, if the camera is on it or not. Now they're getting on. Maybe I made them all hyper sitting down with them. But yeah, I mean, that's really the whole, we weren't really looking for a dog or anything. They were just up by the road and we rescued them. And we were kind of almost thinking about taking all the puppies, but everything's they got a cement wall around here. It's all cement. I mean, just to really I think when we went, I think there's actually 4 left, 4 or 5. So I think when we went, there were 7 of them. So maybe if Aang had a bigger yard, take all 7, at least put them somewhere where they're safe, then people could come get them when they wanted a pet or something like that. I mean, pets in Thailand, this isn't what I want to talk about, but let me just get it out, get it off my mind, and we'll move on here. But pets in Thailand are a little bit different. Usually if you're more of like a middle class or wealthy Thai, if you have a pet, that pet will be treated more like you would like in the States or Europe. They'll be inside, you feed it dog food, they're well trained. But most pets, like in a village, they're just treated like street dogs. Okay, like if you see me walk on the street, sometimes you'll see a dog behind me. Or if you ever travel international, like to Thailand or someplace like that, you see dogs running around. You think they're street, I mean, I'll call them street dogs, but they're not really street dogs or stray dogs. They have owners. And like all the dogs here have owners, but how Thai do, they just let them roam the streets. They let them roam the streets, scavenge for food. They don't feed them. They feed them table scraps. That's it. And it just comes down to, if there's no leftover food to give your pet, well, then the pet don't eat. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how that's really kind of taking the sunglasses off what really goes on in Thailand around animals and pets and stuff like that. So that's kind of what led us to kind of rescue the at least 2 puppies. But he's chewing my shoe over there. Which I don't care. It's a croc. His teeth aren't big enough. You see him over there? He has my shoe. His teeth aren't big enough to ruin it yet. But anyway, let's kind of move on here. Went on enough about that. But anyway, what do I want to talk about with living life in terms of manifesting? And one of the things I was thinking about was, and a question comes up. You can see behind me there, huh? A question comes up where, especially when we talk about intuition, and we talk about following your intuition, following your gut feelings. If some of you have kept up with me, watch a lot of my stuff, I like to call this is how I like to call action. Is yes, you got to take action. Yes, 100%. I 100% believe you got to take action. 100% believe that you don't just sit down and meditate and money will fall on your head. Okay. But some people take this too far, because what you have to understand is our thoughts create our reality. Bottom line. Okay. What you're thinking about is going to manifest to you. Make sense? So when we take action, we should be taking intuitive action. You don't take force action. Remember, action, force negates. They're making my mind, because I can hear them in the background, making me a little bit, I forget what I'm going to say. But remember, force negates. Anything you force, okay? You try to force a friend to like you. You try to force yourself to be in part of a group. You know what I mean? It doesn't work, because people feel that energy. That energy seems off, and people stay away from you. It's the same thing. It's the same thing when you take force action. You're trying to force, you're trying to force to get something done, and it just doesn't seem like it's going your way because you're forcing it. So when you take action, you should be taking intuitive action. Okay. And what I mean by intuitive action is you follow your intuitions. You follow your gut feelings. Bottom line. Okay. When you have oh my goodness. There's going to be like a comedy. It's going to be like a comedy. I almost said the F word. I wanted to say when you have a gut feeling, but I put an F in front of that. I'm sorry. Like when I did the puppies, they're behind me. My mind's sometimes when I do videos, that's why I like it quiet. Like, because like little sounds, and I know what are they doing back there. My mind gets distracted. But anyway, what was I saying? Anyway, when you take action. You take action when you have a gut feeling. When you have a gut feeling to do something, that's when you take action. When you have that intuitive nudge to do something, that's when you take action. When you have an intuitive thought to do something, that's when you take action. Okay, and this is how I like to explain it. is you don't take action until you're inspired to take action. What you get me on that? Like you're basically just in your zone doing your thing, and you're in present moment. You're not forcing anything. You don't take action until you have a gut feeling to do it, until you have an intuition to do it. Bottom line. Okay, that's what we should be doing. Okay? Once you take intuitive action, that leads you to the next step. Once you get to the next step, I don't know how long you'll be there at that step, but you'll have another intuition to take you farther. So this is how I like to explain it, is that when you set an intention for yourself, no matter what it is, sometimes our intuition will take you straight there. Other times your intuition will, it's like a puzzle piece. It takes you closer to your goal, but not straight to your goal. Then once you move closer, you're there, then you have a gut feeling to do something else and it takes you closer. Does that make sense? So that's kind of the premise, what I want to talk about. Let me add to it. The questions I'm getting is playing with their little ball. I got him. The question I get, I want to whisper because I don't want to be tripped. But the question I get with it, it's a question, it's a complaint. Sometimes people use this to kind of debate intuition or following their intuition or taking intuitive action, because that's what people love to do. They love to kind of debate and they debate the other side or give extreme examples why things don't work. I almost said no. They wanted to pull down the clothes. But what happens with people is that I think the biggest mistake that we can fall into is that when we take intuitive action, it leads us closer to our goal. It doesn't take us straight there in this example. It just takes you closer. Okay, it's like a puzzle piece. The trap that people fall into is they could be following their intuition. They could follow the intuition for 3 days, a week, but then they come back and they say, well, following my intuition don't work. Doing intuitive action don't work. This manifesting stuff don't work because, I'm following my intuition, Chad, but I'm not getting what I want. I'm following my intuition, but it's not taking me closer to what I want. You see what I'm getting? I mean, have you fell into this trap? And I know I'm all over in this video because I'm distracted with the little boogers behind me. but have you kind of fell into this trap? Have you told somebody something similar to what I'm telling you right now? Or do you think it? Sometimes we just think it. Like, I'm doing all this hard work. Okay. I'm listening to Chad. I'm listening to other channels. I'm listening about manifesting, living life on your terms. And I'm trying to follow my intuition and gut feelings better. And I know that if I follow my intuitions, that's going to lead me to my dream life. It's going to lead me to what I want. But it doesn't seem like I'm listening to my intuition, but it doesn't seem like it's leading me anywhere. You understand, that's the frustration to it. Okay. I go through it. I know you go through it. And of course, people who complain about it go through it. And the biggest thing, what you're doing, the biggest trap, what you're doing is, for one, you're still looking for the how. You make sense. You're still controlling the circumstances. You're still controlling how things are going to come to you. Okay, if you want your dream house, you're still controlling, okay, how that dream house is going to come to you, besides totally letting it go, and you're totally in present moment. Okay, if you want your dream car, you're controlling it. Okay, what you're doing is you're following your intuition, and when you follow it, basically what you're doing, you're expecting to see some type of sign that you're closer to your dream car. See, that's what's happening. You're kind of expecting to see a sign and you don't. Okay, or you're expecting it to go straight to your dream car, and when you wake up every day, you're looking out in your garage and you're saying, I don't see my dream car. My dream car's not out there yet. I'm following my intuition, but I don't see how it's taking me closer to my dream car. Okay, and because you're looking for it, but you're still attached to it. You're still obsessed with it. You understand, you're falling back into this obsession attachment this kind of bad attachment you have to let it go and let God. Okay, bottom line. Okay, it's just like with me. Like I'll follow my intuition, and and like sometimes it's the same exact thing with me. Sometimes I'll follow my intuition, and I can literally see it's a puzzle piece to take me closer. I can literally see it. Other times I follow my intuition, and it's just like, dude, nothing's happening. You know what I mean? Let me give you some examples. Like especially with YouTube, like most of the time I'll follow my intuition on making videos. I'll have a gut feeling to make a video, and I'll make a video and post it. But that video didn't go viral. It didn't go semi-viral. It seems like nothing happened. It seems like it just gets the same normal views. But I follow my intuition. You understand? Like I go through the same thing. But you don't let it don't what I'm trying to say here, don't let it stop you. Don't let the frustration stop you, because the reason why you're frustrating is because you're looking for the how again. You're expecting it again. You're putting a timestamp on it. You're expecting like, oh, if I have an intuition to do this video and I do this video, secretly I'm expecting, well, since I follow my intuition, it's going to go viral and it's going to blow up my whole channel. My life's going to change overnight. Things are going to get cray in 1 week because that one viral video blew up my whole channel, blew up my whole ecosystem. Okay. See, in my mind, that's what my mind does, and that's what your mind does. You know what I mean? You're looking at one angle, how you're going to get to what you want, get to your intention, when there's hundreds of angles. You know what I mean? Like you just, I mean, lots of times the frustrating game here is we can't see it. You understand? You can't see how close you really are. Neither can I. I can't see how close I really am to my intention, to what I want, to what I set, to what I said I was going to do. I can't see how close I am, and neither can you. And that's the frustration part. You can't see how close you are. Now, I've told you this before. Like, one of the things I've recognized in myself over the years is when I have the feeling of quitting, that's a sign to me. Every time I have a feeling of quitting, I know I'm standing right next to my goal. I know, I mean, I'm toe to toe to what I want. Maybe what you want is your dream house and you feel like quitting. Don't quit. Know why? Because you're toe to toe to what you want. And this is actually aligned with a lot of research, especially when you study successful people. I have a book and I forget what it's called. I don't have it in Thailand. I have it in the States, and the book was about all successful people, all billionaires, and it was a pretty thick book. And one of the things I found in there, like with all the chapters were only a couple pages, and you can imagine how many how many examples they had in there when the book's that thick. But one thing I found in there when I read it, like every single person, they probably had 100 people in there, 150 millionaires in there. But every single story someone told, even though it was different, they always explained the same thing. They always said, for some reason, I just had this immense feeling of quitting, this immense feeling of throwing in the towel. I mean, it was so strong to flip and quit. I don't know what made me continue. They all had the same story. They had this immense feeling of quitting, but for some reason they didn't. And a week later, they broke through. Okay, a couple of days, they broke through. Okay, a month later, they broke through it. Well, I mean, when you break through it, you broke through it. You're living life on your terms. You got what you wanted. You got your intention. Okay, something is with that. When you have this as immense feeling of quitting, and you don't, and you stay in there, you're toe to toe to your dream life. You're toe to toe to what you want, your intention, what you set for yourself. You're toe to toe with it. It's almost like It's almost like, how much can you take, baby? How much can you take? And you don't throw in a towel, you don't quit, and you bust right through it. Okay. Um, that's why I tell myself when I have the feeling of quitting, throwing in a towel, quitting certain things, I always tell myself I'm toe to toe with it. You know, I'm standing right next to, even though I can't see it, it's invisible to me. I'm standing right next to what I want, what my desire is. Okay. Cheers. Let me take a sip of coffee. and and like with intuition, it's just a frustrating game. You know, we have to go through, I mean, I hate to say it, but sooner or later you're going to go through this frustration. You're going to go through, I was just going to get up and check on them, but they just ran by. um Make sure they didn't go down by the road. The road's pretty far, but for them, but they came back up here. um but what was I saying is, with intuition, I might change it around because I had a brain fart there. With intuition, you, you know, like it's a confusing game. You know what I mean? There's going to be a point where you're going to get where, dude, you just feel lost, you feel confused, you're standing in a fire. It seems like nothing's working. It seems like, yes, you're like, yes, I'm following my intuition, like Chad said. I feel like I'm taking intuitive action. I'm getting better at it, and nothing's happening. And stop trying to dissect it so much. You know what I mean? When you start trying to dissect it so much, you're obsessed with it. You're attached to it. You're not letting it go. Okay, that's why you end up dissecting it. And the reason why I say dissect it, because I can do the same thing, because I like to overanalyze, overthink, and all that jazz. That might be good in business, okay? But when we come down the rabbit hole of manifesting success and stuff like that, well, this is what flubs people up. Okay, stop dissecting it. Just let it be. Okay, I know that's easier said than done, but that's what you got to do. Okay, sometimes, before I wrap this up, sometimes it's just, you have to understand your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind knows you better than you probably pretty much know yourself. You can't play your subconscious mind, baby. Your subconscious mind picks up on patterns. It picks up on your patterns and habits, what you do on a habit. If you're used to, like, listen to this. This is how strong your subconscious mind is. If you're used to starting something and quitting 3 months later, then you start something new and you quit 3 months later, you start something new and you quit 3 months later, or you even jump into the tribe, then 3 months later you quit. Okay, all that does, it's a pattern. Listen to this. Your life is a pattern, and your subconscious mind picks up on that pattern. Your subconscious mind knows you always start something new and you quit in 3 months. You start something new, you quit in 4 months. You start something new, you quit in 2 months. You start something new, you quit in 4 months. That's a pattern that you're doing. Your subconscious mind knows that pattern. So anytime you follow your intuition, you start doing something. Like, if you have that pattern, like I just said, I can guarantee you almost to the T that if you quit always in 3-4 months, well, you're gonna have to hang in there probably for 5-6 months. You know what I mean? Because you're breaking that pattern. You're breaking that pattern your subconscious mind knows. Because your subconscious mind knows every time you start something, you quit it, you don't hang in there. Okay, that's a pattern that you started in your life. A lot of us have this pattern. Okay, even myself. No matter if I think I stick to things or not, I can have this pattern if I'm not careful. So you have to be very careful on what you start. Okay, what you start, you have to go to the end. Okay, if you start a 90-day diet, you don't quit in a week. You finish it. Okay, you commit to what you say. You commit to your commitment. Okay, this is why most people don't like it. Okay, some tribe members don't like it, but I say this in a tribe, is when you're inside the tribe, you have to be here for 1 year. You have to commit to 1 year. Okay, what I'm doing is, at a deeper level, is breaking that pattern, because people are so used to starting and stopping, starting and stopping, starting and stopping. Okay, now this is a long example, but this is, hey, no, no. They're chewing on stuff. Let me. I don't want them to chew on that. Hey, no, nope. Spank his little butt. Okay, so this could be the reason why in the beginning things take longer than you expect, because what you're doing is you're basically retraining your subconscious mind. Like it, your subconscious mind, listen, your subconscious mind, this is great info here. Your subconscious mind don't listen to words. It doesn't listen to promises. It don't listen to you. It don't believe you. It only believes your actions and your patterns and your habits. Okay? Understand that. I mean, it's like you're in a relationship or you're in a friendship, okay? And we've all had friends like this or new people throughout our life. We've all had friends, or maybe we're in a relationship with them where they love to talk, they give you promises, but their actions say something different. Okay, we all know people like this. Okay, what they say doesn't match with what they're doing. Okay, but this is what you're doing. This is how your subconscious mind sees you. Okay, it doesn't care what you say. It doesn't care if you say, this time I'm going to do it. Your subconscious mind says, prove to me. Because the last 15 years, you quit every 3 months. Prove to me. Okay, your words are weak. Okay, your words have no meaning to me. Prove to me you're going to do it this time. Prove to me, baby. That's what your subconscious mind is doing. Okay, when you say you're going to stick to something for 3 months, you got to stick to it. If something lasts for 6 months, you got to stick to it. Okay, because you're retraining your subconscious mind. Okay, that being said, when you follow your intuition, lots of times that's what it is you're kind of, your subconscious mind is testing you a little bit, because you're kind of in this gray area. You're in this frustration phase of you always quit, you always stop. Okay, so you this time you don't do it. Sometimes when you're following your intuition, they're chewing something over here. I can hear it. Oh, he's outside, he's chewing his stick. Okay. Sometimes your subconscious mind, I sometimes, if you're kind of new to this and you're not used to listening to your intuition, you're not used to taking action on your intuition, you're used to burying your feelings, meaning like you have an intuitive thought to do something, you're like, nah, I don't want to do it. Oh, I'll do it later. Then later never comes. Um, so that's a pattern, that's a habit that your subconscious mind picks up on. So meaning that you don't follow through, you don't take action on your intuition or your gut feelings. So in the beginning, when you start taking action, you're kind of in the beginning phase where that signal gets stronger, stronger, stronger. So it might not be taking you closer to what you want, but it's purposely not taking you straight there, because it's kind of fine tuning you a little bit. You understand? Okay. It's kind of like it could be a puzzle piece. Like even for me, for my YouTube, it could, like, several things could be going on. I could have an intuition to do a video over here. I do it, follow it, whatever. Now I'll do a video over here. Then I'll have an intuition to, why don't this time I edit it really good, and I'll spend like 3-4 days editing it, and I throw it up. Then I'll have another intuition I'll follow. Okay, now each one, again, each of the videos never went viral. I could sit back and be like, oh my God, this is a waste of my time. Okay, but I don't do that because I can't see the bigger picture. You understand? Like basically, like one of the things I say to myself is, I'm the king. I'm the king of YouTube. I'm the king of my domain. I'm the king of my niche. Okay, I'm the king of live life on the terms. I'm going to take over YouTube in my niche. I'm going to be the number one person in my niche on YouTube. So when I say things like that, my subconscious, and I say it over and over and over and over and over, my subconscious mind hears me. It gets embedded in my subconscious mind. And when I have intuitions to do stuff like videos, I'm just talking about YouTube, is what it could be doing is stacking up like a lot of videos that are viral viral worthy, but they're not going viral yet. They're not getting super popular yet because they just keep on stacking and 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 stacking until one moment, one video goes crazy. But all these other intuition videos I did, could be 50 of them, 100 of them, take off with it. You understand? And that shoots me to king status pretty much overnight or in 1 week. You know what I mean? Because lots of times when I set intentions, I set big intentions. You know, I'm not setting, sometimes I set small ones. I set big intentions. You know, when I'm on YouTube, yes, I'm giving people advice. Yes, I'm helping people. But I want to be the king. I want to be the king of my domain, the king of my niche. I'm the #1 person on YouTube in my niche. Okay, I'm not Mr. Beast. I'm the king of YouTube in my niche. Okay, where I help people. I give people the best advice. That's why people come to me and watch my channel. Okay, bottom line. Okay, I don't sugarcoat it. Okay, I don't tell them what they want to hear like other channels do, other marketers do. Okay, even if I lose you, even if you unsubscribe, I'm going to tell you what you don't want to hear because that's what brings you success, baby. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. When you're inside the tribe members knows. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. And if you quit the tribe, you quit the tribe. I don't care. Because when I go to sleep at night, I know I've given you the best advice that I can give you. I didn't tell you what you want to hear. I didn't tell you what you want to hear so you hang on into the tribe. I'm telling you what you don't want to hear to bring you success. Okay? Bottom line. But I mean, that's a long explanation. But that's what could be going on. That's what I don't see. Like when I gave you my example, but you don't see it either. So the only thing you know is you got to hang in there. Stop controlling the how. Stop trying to figure it out. Follow your intuition and keep on following it. Stop the whole, well, Chad, I followed my intuition for a week and it brought me nothing. So this stuff don't work. No, it's working. Okay. But you're used to quitting right now. You're used to throwing in the towel right now. So your subconscious mind is like challenging you a little bit. You got to remain in the fire. Okay. You got to stop looking for it. Okay. You're looking for it. You're looking for the how. You're looking for the intention. Okay. You're thinking like, if I follow my intuition, this is going to lead me straight to what I want. And if it doesn't, it don't work. That's what you're doing. And it's wrong. Okay. You need to hang in there. You need to just keep on following intuition. It will get stronger, stronger, stronger. Sometimes it's a puzzle piece going all over the place. So, you know, that's all I got to say. I think I hit that on I hammered that thought in the wall there. But anyway, let's wrap this up, as I feel like my brain's all over because I was like looking at the puppies and they're starting to lay down now, starting to get tired. Money is by my feet, licking my toe, and Lucky's over there. So yeah, you know, they come over and say, maybe they're say goodbye to you. See him down here. See him down here. Yep. See him down there. Yep. But anyway, tribe, that's it. Have an awesome Sunday and an awesome week coming. I know you have an awesome week. I'm gonna have an awesome week. And enjoy your coffee. Mine's still pretty. I took probably like. I filled this baby all the way up. I only drank maybe about that much. But anyway, take care, and I'll see you next Sunday.